Gracie, hello.
Madi, hi.
We're back. You can't get rid of us
Back,
that
back,
easily.
back. No, here to stay.
We're here to stay. We will get back into the swing of things now. Had a couple weeks off. Had to focus on some other stuff, family, a little bit of travel. So we're excited to be back and rolling and
Yes,
chatting it up
can't
again.
wait.
How have you been? How's your last few weeks?
It's been pretty good, pretty chill, just nothing crazy. I'm ready for spring, warm weather.
Yep. I know. I feel like we have been having a lot of warm weather, which is like a happy thing and also
I
a kind
love
of
it.
sad thing.
I know.
Like I can't help but be excited about it, and then as soon as I think about why, I'm like, oh crap, maybe this isn't good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was traveling with
She
some
was in the really
friends.
warm weather.
I was. Can you see the tan?
Yes.
Not really.
Jealous.
I've peeled it all off at this point. Like I am a reptile, and literally a layer of my skin all over my body was peeling this week. I just got off the phone with Ivy, my friend, who's also on the trip, and she's like, "Are you peeling? This is terrible. Like it's all over my clothes. It's so gross." And I got it in my scalp.
Oh,
So
girl. That's gross.
this trip was not without its casualties, being number one, my skin. And I swear I tried to put on sunscreen and SPF, and there's just no saving
I
it.
know
Like,
you
I
do.
guess I'm
Like,
always going to burn.
no, I've been witness to that. Like when we went to Bermuda, you religiously put on sunscreen. Like all the time. And you still came home with worse burn than I did, and I didn't even use any.
It's crazy. We went with one of my friends, Sophie, and she also puts on a lot of sunscreen, but she didn't put that much on this time. And she didn't burn at all. She kind of tanned over time, but like just nothing really happened. And I was like, some skin just must be more sensitive to it. And
Yeah?
some must just have to burn before they tan. And
Yeah.
that's me.
They got to get the base.
Uh huh. So I went on a work trip in Milwaukee and then got home Friday morning, turned around and left Friday night on a trip to the DR with three of my friends, which was super fun. My friend Ivy lost her phone in the Orlando airport. So haven't been able to contact her for a couple weeks after the trip because she's still figuring it out. So typical Ivy. But
Like before or after the trip?
before the trip.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. And she bought another phone when we got there.
Okay.
But it didn't work. Like she couldn't get the Apple ID transferred. It was blocking her. And so she wasn't able to use that anyway. And she spent the last week and a half after we got back trying to figure out how to get it set up. So maybe in addition to my skin being a casualty, the phone
Ivy's
was also a
phone.
casualty.
Yeah. Could be
But
considered as one.
in addition to just life updates, I have a couple follow-up generational questions related to travel. But first, I want to talk about my dive.
Yes.
Ah.
I want to hear about it. I'm going to
So,
be like a preschooler. Like when you read the book at like, and they're like in the library and they're like,
yeah,
and I'm like, I'm ready.
that's a great visual. So, actually, Gracie, you went on a dive with me last year in Bermuda.
I did.
Yep. Even though
I
you're not
loved it.
certified, they let you do like a crash course and a dive day with us. What did you think of it?
I loved it so much. It was so fun. I thought I was going to be like scared and like I didn't know because I thought I was going to feel like claustrophobic, even though I'm not claustrophobic. But like the suit was just like perfect, like enough support. So I felt like calm and I felt like at peace and at one. Like
Yeah.
you can't really hear anything when you're underwater. So it's just so calming.
So calming.
I loved it.
And I think what was so special too is aren't the dive people the best? Like the
Yes, they
dive
always are.
community.
They're always so cool. Like I wish they would like peach or like something, be like anything because they are so awesome.
Yeah, they just it like curates a specific type of person who just wants to enjoy life and isn't bound to the same like internal standards that most people are. Like they're just like doing what makes them happy, and I think it's just such a refreshing energy to be around. And every time I
It
go
really
out
is.
and dive, I'm like, I love everybody so much. Like I miss the
I know.
community almost as much as the diving.
Because you always feel so comfortable around them too. Like in some different like aspects of like not really diving, but like be like scared to ask questions. And they're like they encourage it, they embrace it. They're always like, yes, like ooh, like
Mm-hmm.
yay. And I'm like, ooh, thank you.
Yeah, it's true. And so with the DR, when we got there, we stayed at an Airbnb.
Wait, I have a
Not too.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do they speak this is like culturally like probably stupid of me to ask, but do they speak English there or a different language?
They speak Spanish primarily, but a
Primarily,
lot
okay.
of them do speak
Yeah,
English
it's
just
like yeah,
because it's
okay.
such a touristy
Yeah.
place.
I was just wondering
Yeah,
what like the native language is there.
that's not a stupid question because
Okay.
Haiti is or used to
Yeah.
be owned by France. So I
Yep.
think they
They
still
speak
speak French
French.
there,
Yeah. I was
even though they're
wondering.
on the same, peninsula.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah, they're
continue.
they're Spanish first. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so we went down. One of my friends, Mitchell, he and his mom were at a resort there. And at first he was like, "Oh, like come to the resort with us." It was so expensive, and so we were like, "Oh, could we maybe stay in an Airbnb nearby and go and see him?"
Yeah.
And so the Airbnbs were like super cheap, so we're like, "Why don't we just do this?" The flights weren't too bad either. And so we just like spontaneously decided to go.
Love.
Well, a couple months before, it wasn't completely spontaneous, but a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was amazing. We stayed in Punta Cana,
Oh
which I
yeah.
will say, I thought there was going to be more of a downtown area, like to walk around and stuff. And there was, but not quite to the extent I had thought. So we probably didn't need to like stay downtown, but it was good to like have options for restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
But there were moments where it didn't necessarily feel like the safest place, especially for, three girls. And
Yeah.
so we were careful not to just like go walking around at night by ourselves.
Smart.
We did
Smart.
have a security guard and like a gated in community, so that was good.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Yep. And we had a rooftop and we just like got beers and drank and hung out and
Fun.
super low key. It was just a long weekend. It was a Friday to a Wednesday. And I'll talk more about how I felt coming after the trip and kind of how it's changed my perspective because I have some questions for you.
Okay.
But to get into the dive, I was like, since I'm the only diving certified in
Yeah.
our out of our friend group, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this by myself. You can pay to have your friends on the boat, but it was a little bit pricier than I think they wanted to
Yeah.
initially do. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
go alone. And to your point about feeling so safe around the dive community, like I wasn't concerned about that at all. Like they were going to
Yeah.
pick me up at
No.
my apartment
Yeah.
and we were going to drive the like hour or so to the south part of the island to where we were going to go diving.
Yeah.
And I never felt unsafe. My friends were like, "Oh no, we let her go alone. Was that bad?" So they were like texting me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
great.
It's
Everyone
fine.
was
Yeah.
so nice. It was super chill." It was run by a couple German guys that had come over. So it was a German school. Of course, they spoke English and Spanish too, but they
Yeah.
also spoke German for like, training and stuff. And it was just the best dive of my life. But I feel like I say this every time.
You
Like
say
every
that
time I go on
every
a dive,
dive. Yeah. The only one
they
you were
just
like you were haven't been like 100% on is like you said you went on one time where you were like where it was like completely pitch black and you like had to go in like through the beach. That one
Mhm.
you always tell me and you're like it was
Yeah,
fine, but I mean it was a little. But
a
every
little
other one
scary.
you're always like it changed my life. But it does. I know what you're not. It does.
It does. And until you've done it, I don't think people know what it's like.
No.
So this is our PSA. Go get diving
Please go
scuba diving.
diving. Yeah.
You will not regret it. You'll have a true appreciation for the
Yeah.
world and Earth and the circle of life, like everything.
Yes.
So
You'll love it.
do it, do it, do it. But you're right. Yeah, that was a night dive, and I was terrified for that. And it was very cool, but I was like shaking the whole time. I was quite scared.
I would have been.
But I think it's just because like my comfortability gets greater with each dive, so each one just gets a little bit better. And I just think I've gotten lucky, especially the past few times, of having just really great places to dive, like Bermuda and now the DR.
Well, you're quite not fortunate, but like fortunate, but also like you grew up swimming, so you're like comfortable in that anyway. Like I remember that time in Bermuda where like you're like your literal air stopped working and you were so calm, you could swim. And like always those dives are always like they're like, hey, like last resort, swim up. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you can do it. Like it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I think you have to remind yourself of the stakes. Like people are always like, "Oh my god, it's so
You're
scary."
gonna die. Yeah. It's not.
And it is. You have to be careful, of course. It is slightly dangerous at times, but it's really not that deep. Like even if you lose your oxygen, worst comes to worst, you could go to the surface.
Yeah.
If you're really deep and you do that, okay, then maybe you'll have to do a little bit of a go back down and readjust your levels. But for the most part, you can always just get to the top. Yeah. My oxygen for background like went out. My mask, my regulator, I don't know what was going on. It was like getting water in it. And so when I started to breathe in, I was breathing in water instead of my air. And I couldn't you always have a backup regulator so you can pull it around and use it instead, and I couldn't get it out.
And she was like trying to like grab mine, and I was like, are you okay? Like what do you need me to do? Like I was like about to like
Yeah, I know. And Gracie, of course, hadn't been fully certified either, and so I didn't want to freak her out. So I just swam like right up to the guide and like tapped on him, and then he gave me his air, and then he fixed my backup. So it worked out, but you have to stay calm in those moments because otherwise, that's what the freaking out isn't good. But anyway, it was the best day. I won't go into every single detail to bore everybody, but
you're going to have to do that with me later. I want every single detail.
I absolutely will. So most people, when you go on dives, you start early. Like you usually go out by 9 or 10. And then you're back by like 2 or so. So this one, they picked me up pretty early because we were picking up quite a few different people. And then we had a decent drive to where we were going to go. And the night before, I'll tell you about that too. But the night before, we had a beach party at the resort. And we were drinking at the resort. And then we were out late hanging out with everybody. And I obviously didn't want to be hungover or anything. So I wasn't over drinking. But I was like, a little tired the next day because I didn't get as much sleep. But it was totally fine. I had the most energy afterwards, so it worked out. But we went out on the boat with probably, 20 other people. But they had so many guides that there were only 3 people to 4 people per guide.
Wow.
Which is awesome.
That is so good.
You want a small group, and it's not common that you get a small group like that because sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 guides to 5 to 7 to 10 people. And there's like 1 guide in the front and 1 in the back, and then you kind of all go together. So this was really nice that we were with like a lot less people. So it was me and then a woman who was from England, her and her husband, and she was trying to be certified like an advanced diver. So it's just me, the guide, her and her husband. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, that is really good.
And then there were like a bunch of other little parties doing different things. But the first dive we did was, and this was on the south side of the island. So more in like the Caribbean side, not as much to the
Yeah.
Atlantic side.
Wait,
And
how close is it to what's that place called? You said it before.
Haiti?
No. I don't know. I'll think about it later. But there's one place in the Dominican Republic where you see whale sharks all the time. So I wonder if you went there. But continue.
No. And I was
Okay.
looking into all of this and trying to figure it
I
all
was gonna
out.
say, I bet you were.
Yes. And I was super sad because my dad had actually gone to the DR a couple of weeks before me, and they went to this place called Semina Bay, which is where all the humpback whales are.
Yeah.
And they saw like 15 or so humpback whales. And I was like, oh my God, like that's incredible. That's my dream. I wanted to try to get up there and go do it. You can't swim with them or dive at all up in that area, but it would have been cool to like go out on a boat. So I was trying to figure out how to do that, but it was like 3 hours outside of where we were and just too much of a trek for a long weekend. So I decided against it, and I was a little bit bummed, but it comes back to the story.
Okay, go.
So anyway, we went out, and the first dive was a shipwreck dive, which was pretty cool.
Those are so fun.
Yeah, you did a shipwreck when we went to Bermuda, right?
I think so, yeah. I snorkeled one.
Yeah.
I don't think I dove that one, but yeah.
And typically, I like them, but it's not like I'm not one of those that's super excited about a shipwreck dive. Like, I just want to see the animals. But it is cool, and it brings a lot of those corals and those animals anyway. So it was neat. And that was a great dive. Saw, these huge crabs that were like in and around the side of all of the big boat. We like went through the boat, huge fish, stingrays, all kinds of stuff.
Ooh, fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a great first dive. And then we got up, and what I loved about this experience is sometimes, and I get why they do this, and it's not bad at all, but they rush you a little bit. Like, usually it's like, okay, you do your first dive, you get up, you have like a 30-minute break, and then you go back again, and then you eat together, have a couple of drinks, and go back to port. But for this one, they didn't have a second dive later in the day, and so they just only planned that one dive. So they were willing to fill the whole day, basically. So we took a lot of time. That's
good, though.
It was awesome because, we really just got a lot of time to enjoy the water, be on the boat. They were handing out food, snacks, drinks, which I did not have any drinks in between my dives because I'm not that crazy. But we just like got to chat, enjoy the sun for a while. And we like went over to this other island, like this little island.
So they were bringing you everywhere.
Yeah. It was so cool. That's
awesome.
And I loved the like German guys who were running it. They were super neat. Just everybody like talking to everybody was just so interesting. Nice. And to hear about their lives and all their stories and stuff. And so then our second dive was outside of this little island. And this is where it was just amazing. So they had mentioned that they have sea turtles and that they hope that we'll see them. They do a lot, but not always. And we saw a sea turtle before we were in the water. So we weren't ready yet. Like, we were getting everything together, and we saw this cute sea turtle kind of up at the shore, but he had like left. So we got underwater, and it was like, Gracie, it was like the city, the metropolis of the sea. Like, we were in the hustle and bustle of New York, like underwater. There were just so many corals. They were so colorful. I was just so compelled by all of the little like storylines, like the little families and their little home are pushing out an intruder, and then they go over here and around this way. Like, there was so much to watch, and it was so cool to see. Yeah, literally all the interactions. I was just like, this is so incredibly beautiful. And then, which is why we were so glad that we had smaller groups, because we saw a turtle and we like swam up, and the people like in the other group, had, I think, gotten there a little bit before. So like we could kind of see him, but there were a lot of people surrounding it. And then the turtle left. And so my guide was like, let's follow him. So we swam.
As one does.
Yeah. And so we were the only group that like swam. We had to swim pretty fast to kind of catch up and see where he was going. And he was in this like grassy section kind of underwater. And he stopped and like hung out there. And then another turtle came over and they were like swimming together and eating together. And we got Gracie, like his face was right here. Like we were like right up with these sea turtles. Like
I would have cried. Tears would have rolled down my eyes like in my mask.
It was so cool. And they were so unconcerned how close we were. Like we didn't get super close at first just to see whether they'd be apprehensive. They could not have cared less. They were just like chewing their food and we would be like right up in their business. And I just like hang out and like watch.
Did you touch them?
I didn't touch them. I think I probably could have, but I'm kind of against that.
Yeah, you don't want to disturb them.
I really do. Yeah, I didn't want to disturb them. And it just felt a little selfish to me. I'm like, if something touched me, that's kind of when, like, I don't know. They probably wouldn't love that.
No, yeah.
And I didn't want him to leave. So anyway, like I have shots. I'll have to, when I finally get over all the GoPro images and stuff.
Yes.
Because the guide like took my GoPro and was like filming me with him and taking pictures. And I was like,
he sounds like a champ.
He was awesome.
What was his name?
Shoot. I don't remember.
Was
like the guy who ran it. And then the other two guys. I can't. That's so bad that I can't remember.
That's okay. They were cool, so it was fine.
Enric might have been one of them. Oh shoot! It's gonna bother me, but I'll find it out.
It's fine. Yeah.
But like there was moments where I was like just because when you're underwater, you just like float. You know, your buoyancy is so. It's basically like you're in space. So I was just like floating above the sea turtle, and I like have my arms out, just like above him, and like he's like right below me, and I'm just kind of like a part of him. And then they swam away, and we were like kind of floating and swimming with them and around them, and they like, went around us. It was just magical.
I would have been so happy.
It was so magical. I just was hopeful I would see one, let alone have this long interaction with them. Like it was 5-10 minutes, and we were just like with them. And then this big stingray came and it like went right under us and around us. And then we like went up and I was like, this is just like, I can't believe that happened. It was so incredible. And then we went to the island and they had a barbecue prepared for us at this like little restaurant reservation and all this food.
So nice of them.
Yeah. They had this great rum because the DR has amazing rum.
Yeah.
So they were like pouring drinks, kept giving me drinks, like so many. But I was just feeling so good. I was so happy. Yeah. The sun was warm. The people were good. I'd had the best experience. And we were just eating, drinking, chatting it up about like what I do for work and what they do and how they ended up here and everything. And then we went back on the boat and we went to a third location. God. We didn't go diving, but we like did a like swim. So it was in a shallower section and they have all these big starfish. So you get off the boat and you can like swim under and like see the starfish. Note just for future and whoever like is listening to this, do not take a starfish out of the water if you see it in the water.
I knew that.
Because it shocks it. And the way that it intakes oxygen, it would be the same thing as you breathing in and going like breathing in water, like being dunked at that exact time. So don't do that. Just note. But yeah, they were so cool. And so it was shallow enough where you could just like stand, walk around, drink. I was kind of swimming under and like looking at stuff, saw a few more stingrays, and then like had a few drinks and then we went back. And that was on that boat ride back where we saw the humpback whale and the baby.
I
which
saw that on your Instagram and I literally was like, what I would give. It's crazy.
it was the like one of the best moments of my life. Like truly, 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 it was everything. So we were on the boat ride, had the best day, and then someone was like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And so we like pull the boat around, we like get close, and it was a whale, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And then we saw the baby, and so we were like really close to it, following it pretty closely for 10-15 minutes. Like everybody had the same respect and like deep appreciation
Appreciation.
for this moment that it was
Yeah.
like so magical. It's like being in a concert and everybody loves the same song and the same artist and you're just jamming together. Like the energy
Yeah.
is unmatched. That's what it felt like. And then the baby breaches, like we're seeing all of this. It was so cute and beautiful. And then other boats started to kind of catch on. So they started to come around. And then it kind of felt like a gangbang. So we were like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like it's now we don't want to stress out, the
No,
mom at
no,
all,
no.
especially with all the engines. And like we were trying to tell the other boats, like, shut off your engine. Like, what are you doing? Shut them off. So then we
Yeah.
were like, we got to go. Like we had our moment with it. It was beautiful with them. Sorry.
Hmm.
And it was beautiful. And I cried. And then we came
I would
back.
have too.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And then I went back to my friends and I was telling them all these stories and we drank and we hung out. And I was just like, you know what? This is life. This is living. This is my purpose. This is what brings me joy. And I just like realized that I need to find a way to do this more, to bring this into my life more and to live truthfully because I had the post vacay blues coming back home. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
how do I go back to my corporate life?
Come, if I study marine biology, I'll let you in on it with me so we can just like be in the same classes and like do the same thing.
Please, please.
Or
I
if
want an
like
honorary degree.
yeah, marine biology too. Like if you got into that field, I'd need somebody to actually go scuba diving for me. Like I could do all the genetic things and then but I need somebody to harvest the material. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
oh, I
Yes,
got you.
I would love to rebuild coral reefs. I would love to work
Perfect.
for National Geographic and take photos.
Perfect. Perfect.
I would even love to just work for, some sort of like ocean conservation
Nonprofit. Yeah.
company. Just something where it feels like I'm living that purpose, which kind of leads me into a few of my generational questions because I've talked long enough.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
No, it was phenomenal. I could listen to that all day. I loved it. Thank you.
Of course. So, from your perspective, what does Gen Z value in travel? Because I'm thinking about TikTok and where you're getting all of your information. Like, if you're going to be planning a trip, yeah, where are you looking for that information? What are you valuing when you come together, either on a friend trip or a solo trip? Like,
Yeah.
I think the mindset around travel has changed so much. And I want to get your take on what that looks like.
I don't I'm not 100% sure, but I think it a lot of the times now people before they go on trips, they'll think of like it doesn't really matter where they're going. Like I think people love to get, especially my age, love to get out of the country now more than like just going to like Florida or like in the country. But I think people love to like use their passports, get outside of like the US. But I think it
Mm-hmm.
mostly matters around like who you go with. Because I've seen so many people like cruises are a huge thing in my and like
Hmm.
people my age. I've seen so many cruises recently. Like everybody's on a
Interesting.
cruise. But it's all like if they are on a cruise, they're all like spending time with their family, or they're at a wedding that's like destination wedding, or they're if they're going on a trip to like anywhere, they're like going with their friend. Like I just
Yeah.
saw a few girls in the grade below me just went on a trip, like just them. and it was like their moms and them, but they just had a great time and it was just like them. So I don't really think it matters like where they go more than who they go with.
Yeah, I think that it makes sense. And I think too,
Yeah.
like the way we think about our parents and how they tend to travel, I feel like they were so much more resorts or
Yep.
having kind of a pre-plan and a pre-booked,
So so planned
experience.
and like
Yeah.
step
Which
by
maybe
step.
is a parenting thing, but I also feel like it's an age thing, right? Because it was a
Yeah.
lot more common to use travel agents. Google and all of these other search engines weren't available as much. So you were looking and you had to be a lot more thoughtful about what you were doing 15 years ago when you went to travel than now, where you can like just find whatever you're looking for and like
Yeah.
GPS things. And then I feel like my age was when we really got into that like budgeting travel almost because
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb came on and all of these other little, hostels and this sort of like I'm going to make the trip my own. Like solo traveling got really big. So I'm curious like if you too, you're saying like cruises, maybe it's coming back to like the pre-booked thing or maybe it's
Yeah.
also, they're just too young and they're going with families who have that booked. But I feel
I
like
think that
TikTok
could be
makes it
it.
different for
Yeah.
travel too. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's definitely that. I'm thinking about it from my perspective. I would never like shoot for a cruise like for myself, but like if my family went there or like Grammy or like anybody who like wanted to go on a cruise and was like, "Hey, you should come with me." I'd obviously be like, "Oh, yes, of course."
Yeah.
But then like, cruises too, like you can meet like people, a lot of people on a cruise or like a lot of people like and you're stuck with them kind of. So like you kind of
Hmm.
have to build like the friendship with it, I
That's true.
think.
That's
But
true.
I don't know like because
It's
solo travel
hard.
has been getting bigger. I've seen a lot of solo travel on my TikTok and people being like, come with me on my trip to Greece for like the week. But obviously, our generation can't do that right now because we're not old enough. But like watching that, I'm like, ooh, like this is
Yeah.
fun. Like she's doing this. This is obviously like, it's an option.
Yeah, I think we'll see how that all plays out. You're right, in a few years when you guys are able to fully travel. And I think too, TikTok, like are you getting like if let's say you're going, you're going to go to Paris for a week or something. Where are you getting your recommendations? Like where do you
Yeah,
think your generation would
TikTok,
search for that?
100%.
Really?
100% TikTok or Instagram, or they'll be like yeah, look up in the TikTok search bar like, oh, best places in Paris for this, best places in Paris for tourists, best places for this, and
Yeah.
instead of like, I feel like not well, we're in the same generation, but more millennial to like mom and dad's generation. It was like you didn't go somewhere unless you knew somebody who was there and knew how to like
Yeah.
go and like knew what they were doing.
Yeah, had actual recommendations.
Yeah,
I think social media now has had been prevalent for enough years where there's so much content on there that it's almost its own search engine and we're so visual, like especially your age is you're so visual that you need to
I
see
know.
like what that's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. You want to create this vibe on your trip, and I think the only way you can know for sure is if you use an influencer or
Yeah,
a trusted follower.
yeah, I think you're 100% right.
What about, and I know we've talked about work a lot and kind of this idea of purpose and what you guys think about when you're pursuing a career. And I know for you, it's super early, you're not
Yeah.
in college yet, but I
Okay.
feel like work and life in a way used to be so separated, right? Like you would have your career and you would do your
Hmm.
personal things in your PTO time, and that was what that was for. And
Yeah.
I feel like your generation is so passionate about work life balance. But what's strange to me is that you're also looking for a job that combines all those life elements. So you're almost blurring the line of work and life. Like
Yeah.
the work life balance is almost worse now than it was before, but it's because you want so much more of that personal life, passion, interest weaved into whatever that career is. Whereas before it was two separate things. How do you kind of view that?
Yeah.
Like, are you, when you're thinking about
Well,
a career, are you always like, okay, I know I like XYZ and I want that to be a part of my career? Or I'll just deal with it as separate things?
yeah, I do think of it. Me personally, I think of it as like I want it to feel like I'm having a vacation every day. Like I want to have fun with what I'm doing and I want to do it like happily. Like I just want to be happy, I want to have fun, and I want to make other people happy doing that.
Yeah.
And to do that, I need to find like what my passions are, what I like what my purpose is, which is such a like a big overarching, oh God, what do you do? But
Yeah.
also, I feel like I'm thinking about this because I watched Emily in Paris the other day. And
Ah.
I'm thinking about, when Luke said, like, you guys, like, you Americans, you guys work to live, or we live to work, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Maybe it was switched around, but he said something like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. But I think we're honestly taking more, like, we, wait, and we live to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm trying to. It doesn't really. I don't know,
No,
but like,
I think that makes sense. You're saying that in the US, we live to work. We're working all the time,
yeah,
I
all the
think.
time. Yeah, yeah,
Whereas they work so they can live. Like they
yeah.
have that separation where their career is not their life.
I
It's not
know,
going to
and I think
define
it's
them.
just. But also, like everybody, it just from like what I saw in Emily in Paris, they like what they do, and they take the long lunches. They do like different culturally different like things that make it like easier, and like they like what they're doing, and they like spending time with the people they do it with. Like so, I saw that, and that's what that made me feel, and I feel like we're getting more like Gen Z is doing more of that,
Mm-hmm.
but also yeah, I think people are trying to find like what their purpose is more, and then just doing off of that, being like, this is my daily life and I do this every day and I love it, so I don't need a vacation.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I had a friend the other day say they were frustrated a little bit at work with some of the Gen Z employees.
I have a bone to pick with this too, yeah. I can talk about this in the serving industry,
Yeah, I
but
want to
go.
hear. Yeah, they were basically saying, I'm a little sick of the overreacting and the complaining. It's not fun to work with my Gen Z employees a lot of the time. And she was saying they need to suck it up a little bit. Um, and they have really high expectations of what they deserve, like no other generation has had, which is a good thing, I think, overall. But she was just saying it sucks to kind of work with them sometimes. So I was kind of curious, do you have like these expectations of how work should treat you? And like, how have you seen this in your
Well,
experience?
I think that also plays into like how you were raised too, or like how your demeanor as a person is. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, from working like differently, like the other day, working at my new job, it's like so much better and so much different than working at the other one. Uh, I I can't really name them, but I don't really know. They're both in the service industry, like they're both
One is
waitressy, like
for more of a
busing
high
job.
end, like
Yeah, we'll call
uh,
yes,
bougie
Th-
restaurant, and the other one's a pub, for
yes.
lack of better
Thank you, Maddie. That ate, and then like at the pub, I'm like at the bottom of the food chain, and so I do all everybody's work always. Like I'm doing the bartender's job, I'm doing the manager's job. I'm always creating new like things and doing like certain stuff and like making the special menus, just typing them out and stuff. Or like not typing them out, but like checking for like spelling errors and things and stuffing them in menus. And it's like whenever I do something wrong with that, like if I did it on the wrong side, it's like you did this wrong. Like what is their thing? Like blah, 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 blah. And that's personally when I take the initiative to be like, nope, like I deserve better than this. This is my boundary I'm setting because that's not okay. I did this and I'm working for you, and you can be nice to me by saying stuff like that. Like that's
yep,
where I like draw the line. And
yep.
sometimes I do that in worse ways than I should, like passive aggressively. Like if you don't tip me out, I don't clean your tables. Whoops. I probably should I did that once and it don't do that. So I'll get better at that. But then that like the higher end restaurant, There's no side work. Like, you just have to wait for the glasses. Everybody's so happy. Like, I complimented somebody the other day, and she was like millennial, but she was like probably like your age, like Gen Z, like in between. And she was like, "Oh my god, thank you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like you're slaying." And she was like, "Oh, thank you." She could like match my energy very well,
That's
and I was like,
awesome.
"Okay." No, I think she's probably right because Gen Z is almost demanding about what they want
Mm,
and need. But also, we're going to get stuff done because the corporate companies are going to see that like their employees aren't doing anything and they're going to
yeah.
change it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is I think sometimes we do see it as a negative thing, whereas if you think about the intention behind it, it's you know your worth and
Yeah,
you're brave and courageous to stand up for yourself. So if a company can figure out how to um, capitalize on that feeling and kind of flip
yeah,
it around for the company, then you have the best advocates for
exactly.
your
You have
company
like,
possible. But you have to
yeah,
make
you
people
have,
believe in it. That's the challenge.
yeah, that is the challenge. But then you're competing with like old people who have been, not old people, but like veterans who have been in that company for years, being like, no, this is just how it is. Like, you
Yep.
get your raise every 2 years and you deal with it.
Yep.
Gen Z also does not like being told what to do, so
That's true.
that's going to be a bit of an issue.
We're going
I
to
would
see
work
how
with
it plays
people
out.
I go to school with, and they're like telling me about their work, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I hate that." I'm like, "Well, girl, who else is going to do it?"
Sometimes necessity outweighs desire.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. Well, we can move into some hot takes, but I was just curious. I
Yeah,
mean, would they? One good thing about you guys, I think, is the corporate, like we've talked about before, work appropriate attire and tattoos and all that are so much more
yeah,
accepting. And I say
yeah.
this because, yes, I have my little nose ring here, and no, it's not real. It's a little clip on. And I have been trying to figure out whether I could wear this to work on Tuesday when I go into the office. What do you
You
think?
easily could. What?
It's
Maddie, you
just
easily could.
a little bit edgy. I mean, to have a nose ring at a
Girl, you
corporate
could wear that.
finance company.
Girl, they know
Okay.
you. If it's gold, they'd know, like, oh, she has her finances in check.
If it had a jewel, would that just give me extra
Yeah.
points?
Yeah. If it's like my fake Van Cleef here.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Why are Van Cleefs so popular with men right now?
With men?
Particularly, I've seen a
I've
lot
only
of
seen them
guys
on
wearing.
women. I've only seen them on women.
We're gonna have to pull up the
Yeah, we
receipts.
are gonna have to pull up. Probably Jacob Elordi wore one.
Probably. That would be so
Probably.
cute.
That's probably why.
So Jacob Elordi. Hey, at least I don't
So
have
Jacob Elordi.
the nose ring on the bowl. I feel like that's a
No,
no.
that's a no in corporate, I think.
Hmm. And then on this point, I'm getting another 2 tattoos this week.
Ooh,
All right, do you want to
tell
hear
us,
about what?
tell us.
Yep. So, first of all, happy St. Patty's Day. See, I'm wearing green. And you can see my, if you're on the
Yay,
YouTube,
Irish.
my clover on my hand. I am getting a whale shark, which no, I did not see a whale shark, but I still want the whale shark tattoo. And I'm doing it on the inside of my arm right here in like a
Okay,
thin line style.
good.
And then I wanted to get another hand tattoo right here
Fun.
that says something like a word. And I need your opinions. So I'm
Um,
kind of leaning towards shine. I like the idea of like looking down and just like remembering to be myself and remembering
yeah,
to like sparkle. It goes with my sun theme that I have on my other
yeah,
side. I also thought about like grow or change, but I'm like, I don't know, shine is feeling like it's
yeah.
speaking to me.
I like shine a lot. I feel like you could do a lot with like aerial fun. I don't know what you want to do, but like you
Ariel.
could.
Helvetica
I don't know.
bold.
I don't know, girl. Maybe like I don't know. I saw somebody on my Pinterest do it like here,
Mm.
and they had these two.
On the
So it
inside
was
of your
like
thumb. For people
yeah,
not
but it was
on the video.
spelled like it was like U, but it was like spelled like this way, like down, like
Oh.
YOU, and then on this one they had matter, so like you
Mm.
matter.
That's
But they
cute.
had matter on their right hand, so like whenever they looked at it, because they looked at their right hand more, I think. So it'd be like you matter
Oh, that's
or
cute.
like something like that. Yeah.
I doubt my girl would do tattoos on the inside of my hands because
Yeah.
she didn't even want to do one on my thumb. Cuz she's like it's not going to stay. Like I'm not going to waste your money. Maybe she would if I really wanted it,
Queen.
but I do need to think about a font. So TBD, maybe next
Shine.
week on the pod you'll see my new tattoos,
Shine would
my
be so
fake
cute.
nose ring, what has happened to me. Right?
Shine would
I
be
could
so
have
cute,
shine
yeah.
right here.
Oh, do you want it like on
Okay, I
here,
think
like
I'm
on your
leaning there.
hand? Like here?
Oh, I can't see. Can you?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
like
Do you want it like
on
on your
right
hand?
here.
Okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That would be cute.
Yeah.
That would be cute. I like that.
Thank you.
Continue.
Okay, so any hot takes? Anything you want to talk about before song of the week?
Oh, wait, I have one too. It's a Taylor Swift one, so obviously it's going to get a rise out of people. And it's like, I've come to the conclusion where I was fighting with Liam with this the other day. Like, at the end of the day, let's see how many Spotify streamers she has, not including Apple Music. Just
Okay.
on Spotify alone, she has, let's see, 104.2 million monthly streamers. 104.2 million
Damn.
monthly streamers. I came to the conclusion, especially with her and her haters, like, she's still gonna have, like, billions of fans at the end of the day, whether you like her or you don't. So, bye.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
needs your
true.
opinion. Like, for real. And
Haters gonna hate. There's
that's all
no
I got.
reason to hate except for you oddly want to prove that you're on the other side. Like it's just such a
Yeah.
weird like okay,
Yeah,
have
like,
fun with all this
what are you
resentment.
achieving?
That's so true. It's so true. So mine is so this is not quite a hot take, but I want to go into this a little bit and maybe we can dive into it on another episode. But what are your thoughts on nepo babies since they're like your age and your era? How do you feel about nepo babies? And is this like the future of influencing and celebrity? This is such an interesting world to me.
I hate Nepo babies. I can't. I was bringing water to somebody at the higher end restaurant and they just gave Nepo baby. It was like three girls and they just gave Nepo baby energy. And I was like, yep, they are swiping a father figure's card who or mother figure who is like making millions. And it just and some of them on TikTok too. It's all the like Alabama Baker and like old young people who like are
Mm-hmm.
parents or like billionaires and like actors who have had children who are now like billionaires too. And I'm like, ugh, like you guys don't get it.
Yep. Let's do what's the equivalent of smash or pass for nepo babies? Like we like them or we don't. Like a yes or
Yeah.
a no. Let's do this because there are
Okay. Yes or
two nepo
no?
babies I actually love.
Yeah, there are
And
some that I love. On TikTok, some of them are so real. And they're like, and everybody's like, how are you affording this? Like, drop the job info. And they're like, I am a Nepo baby. Like, that is the job.
yep,
And
yeah,
some of them are
literally.
real. I
Like
love
in
some of them.
Bachelor when they have the career come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nepo
Nepo
baby.
baby. Bachelor Joey has jaundice.
Yes, because of his eyes. They're
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, I just had to say that. Go ahead.
That is funny. Okay, Sophia Richie. I mean, I wouldn't quite say she's a true
Yeah.
nepo baby, but she is, I guess. But she's like on the older spectrum.
I've
think
definitely heard of her, but let me look her up.
she's a big like lifestyle influencer.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking
Super
about.
cute. I like her. I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like her. She's chill.
She's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lily Rose Depp.
Hot take, I do like her. I do like her a lot. I think
like
she's
her
great
too.
for Chanel. She is like the Chanel ambassador, and she's so good at it. I love her.
Yep. I heard her show or movie or whatever show was a little weird, but
I have never
she
seen it.
seems cool.
She seems
it's the
chill,
one
yeah.
that was produced by The Weeknd.
Oh.
I don't remember what it's called. Okay. Kaya Gerber dating Austin Butler. This girl?
Yeah, I need a photo. Oh, I don't like her. I feel like she also dated Jacob Elordi. Was that a thing?
Probably. That kind of fits. Okay, so my favorite Nepo babies. So if we say you're a no on Kaya, I'm
No.
kind of in between. I don't have a lot of feelings. Alabama Barker annoys me, so it's a no.
I don't like her either, no.
But who I do
She
like,
is entertaining, though.
That's true.
I don't
That
like
is
her,
fair.
but she is entertaining.
I like the Reese Witherspoon's kids, Ava and the cute boy.
The boy is so cute. The little yes. There's been TikToks about him, and everybody's like, "Y'all are sleeping on him. I've known
Deacon.
from day one.
Deacon is a great name, also like a really great.
He's
name.
So cute too.
Deacon, yep. I follow him on Instagram.
I don't. Let me fix that.
For like no reason. And he lives in New York. I think he goes to like NYU or something, and he does music.
He could literally be getting snipes of this kid and we don't even know it.
That's true. He's like sitting next to him all year, and then I'm like, Toby, look at this.
Yeah, this guy.
And he's like, yep, Deacon. And they seem like really cute. And her daughter looks exactly like
her. Yeah, they're carbon copies.
And she seems so sweet too. I feel like she must be a great mom to raise some really awesome kids. So those two are a yes in my book. Oh, famous Nepo baby, Hailey Bieber.
No, I hate her. I hate her so much. It's insane.
I don't
oh my
hate her.
God. I know she gets on my skin. I hate her.
Oh my God, harsh.
Harsh. But like, I really dislike her.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. I mean, you're not alone there. Any others? I know we're missing so many.
I don't know if this... Yep, go.
Oh, sorry.
You're good?
Brooklyn Beckham. He seems cool. Friends with
look.
Selena. He and his girlfriend, Nicole.
Brooklyn. Let me look him up.
Beckham.
Beckham.
David Beckham and Victoria Beckham's son.
Yeah, he seems cool. I've seen him. I haven't really seen like him ever, but sure. From his Instagram, he seems cool.
Okay, and then last, Willow and Jaden Smith.
Willow's cool. I like her. Jaden Smith, girl, calm down, simmer down. Like, stop. Just stop talking. Like, girl, Willow seems chill, but she also seems like she's kind of mean sometimes, so.
I don't really have an opinion. I don't know them, I don't think, well enough. So I feel like overall maybe we're pro Nepo baby. Seemed like we liked them all.
Because you gave good examples. Like, there are different examples too, but I love those. But those don't technically... Like, Ariana Greenball or whatever, the girl who played the little girl in the Barbie movie. And, like, Brady Noon, Connor Noon. Like, do they count as Nepo babies, or did they create their own fam? Sky Jackson. Like, is she a Nepo baby? Or is she, like... Did they create their own sort of platform?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I like all of them.
Maybe we need to do a Nepo baby deep dive.
We really do. Or maybe just a Google of the term Nepo baby.
Nepo baby is when the parents are celebrities. or like famous, and they have kids that get famous because of their parents.
Okay, yeah, then they're not.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
But sometimes you'd be surprised, like you just don't know that their parents are famous. So.
Yeah. True.
Okay, so I have a lot to say for Song of the Week. I might say Album of the Week.
Oh. Wait. I have another. Wait.
Okay.
Well, we're on the topic. I don't even know if this counts as a nepo baby because he's in the royal family. So he's like the ultimate nepo baby.
Oh. Ooh. Nepo royalty.
Nepo royalty. Let me find him real quick. His name is like... He's really cute. He's also my age, so...
Who is it?
Oh, James. James, Earl of Essex. Where's Essex? What is that?
It's in England.
He's really cute, Maddie.
Wessex, you mean?
Probably. Can you see?
It's a little pixelated, but I pulled it up on my phone.
Okay. Cool.
He does not do anything for me, but I respect that. I'm also not allowed to be like, this child is cute. I'm 26. Like,
well, it's because I saw him at the US Open or something, that tennis match that just happened.
Yeah, he looks cute there, but he looks like a mouth breather. Am I wrong?
No,
Am I
wrong? No, you're not. But that was crazy. He looks like a mouth breather. Oh. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
That's my case. Okay. Song of the Week, Album of the Week is my queen. Yes, Selena. She may have gotten some backlash, but I choose to believe in her and who I believe she is as a person. My Ariana Grande gal. Did you know she dropped an album?
No.
Last week? Oh my God, Gracie, go listen now.
She's been canceled.
Podcast, go listen.
Nobody talks about her.
I completely disagree because I hear it on my thing, but I think we have different feeds. But you're right with the whole SpongeBob thing and that whole drama. But someone just came out, a couple of her friends that are also
Wait, what happened?
Came out.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, I won't go into it too deep, but basically...
I'll look it up.
There was like a whole thing where they thought she was having an affair with the guy who just had a baby that she worked on.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Okay.
Which I don't know. That could have happened. I don't know. But
regardless, her music is good.
Yeah. And like some of her friends, like famous friends, have come out and been like, the whole story has not been told. And like she's not defending herself because she doesn't want to like get involved any more than she is. But like, you guys don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
And so you know what? I think she's a really beautiful person. I've followed a lot of her career. She's had a lot of struggle, a lot of difficult times.
I agree.
And she seems grounded to me, and she's just amazing. And she dropped this album, and it's incredible. Incredible. Go listen
What's
to
it
it.
called?
A lot of the songs do kind of sound similar because she has a similar vibe to her. It's called Eternal Sunshine.
Ooh.
And my 3 favorite songs... It's loud.
Sorry.
It's okay. My 3 favorite songs are We Can't Be Friends. Great music video. Great song.
Nope.
Everyone's like, oh, it's giving a fair. No, I don't think that's what that song is written about. I listened to her whole interview and she was like, wow, like a lot of this has been misinterpreted, but I'm glad it's resonating with people. Anyway, We Can't Be Friends.
Queen.
Then Eternal Sunshine. And then Imperfect for You. The best songs. I have been listening on repeat. Go listen if you haven't already. I think it's an amazing album.
Okay.
What's your song of the week?
Let me pull it up. I forget. It's one with Taylor Swift, and it's a throwback, though. When I tell you throwback.
Debut.
I don't want to live forever. Zayn, Taylor Swift, and 50 Shades Darker. This one. You know this one. Yeah.
Yep. That's a
And
good
I
one.
don't want to live forever. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's
It's a
a
throwback.
solid. I
Ain't
forgot
it?
it was Taylor Swift, honestly.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't remember her verse, but I know it's there.
Is that where they like the song they met on, where they started dating?
Probably. Yeah, that's about the right time frame. There it is.
All right. Well, we will be
Alrighty.
dropping the other movie recap, Ice Princess, later this week.
Yeah.
Or early next week. Because we chatted too much. Had too much to talk about.
For real.
But it shall come.
It shall.
All right.
Alrighty.
Good to see you as always, gal.
You
Salute
too.
Off.
Off.
Bye.
Bye.